FightHype.com. Always a pleasure to be joined with the former PBC Prospect of the Year, undefeated super welterweight. Well, it's beginning that transition now from former Prospect of the Year to contender at super welterweight. Joey, man, first off, you're fighting on Christmas Day on FS1. How's that feel, man, the fact that you got to fight on Christmas?
Yeah, it's cool, man. I never expected to fight on Christmas. I never thought that would be a day that I would fight, but here we are. We're going to fight on Christmas. It's going to be great. And we got the family out here, and we're going to celebrate after the fight. And so it's going to be good.
Yeah, but how's it affected what would be a normal Christmas for you in terms of eating and, celebrating, all that stuff?
Yeah, it definitely, gets in the way of that. Everybody likes to eat good on Christmas and hang out and just have a stress-free, restful day. But that's not going to be my day per se. But like I told my family the women in my family that were upset when I first got, the news that I was going to be fighting on Christmas, that we celebrate, like it's a holiday after every fight anyway. We always eat great and hang out and enjoy some of the best time with family that we have when we get done with the fight. Because for us, it's a family. Everybody's involved, my sister, my mom, my wife, my brother, my dad, everybody plays a part. So when we get into the fight, it's a very stressful time. When we get done with the fight, it's like a big release, and we just rest and put all work out of our mind and for a few days and just enjoy each other and like I said, eat good and celebrate. So it's always a great, celebration and time to relax every time that we get done with the fight.
Yeah, I can only imagine the sweet, relief and satisfaction of winning a prize fight. It's
yes, yeah. Absolutely. It's one of the best feelings you can possibly feel. So it doesn't really bother me when I find out that, I'm fighting after a holiday or near a holiday, because I know that after that fight, when we get done making the weight and we get done winning the fight, that it's going to feel as good or better than any other, day of celebration you can have.
Well, speaking of food and eating good, I know you as a Michigan boy, sometimes eat the food that you yourself hunted. And I'm curious, Joey, what are some similarities, or if you could compare Joey Spencer, the hunter, hunting for food out there in the Michigan woods, and Joey Spencer, the fighter? Is there something similar to being the hunter in the wilderness and being the hunter in the boxing ring, or it's two different things? Well,
no, yeah, that's one of the big reasons that I love to hunt. I tell people a lot of times it's not, it gets confused. I don't love to kill animals. I don't love to do that. It's not something that I enjoy. Actually, every single time that I get in front of an animal to kill, it's not something that I'm super excited about. It's actually a sad thing in the moment, but there's so much respect there for the animal and some people are different. Some people really get a high off of killing the animal, and that's just not me. And it actually bothers me sometimes when I see people, just happy to shed blood and kill an animal. And that's not me. I eat meat, and I love the process of the hunt. That's what I do love about hunting. And that's the parallel with boxing and hunting is the preparation and the work that goes into and the strategy to getting in front of that animal. And it just takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort, whether you're just sitting or whether you're stalking a certain animal or whether you're just sitting for hours and hours on end, the patience that it takes. And it trains you, to be patient. And then when you finally get that moment, you've got to dial it in, control your emotions, and settle yourself down, or you're going to mess up everything that you've worked hard for. And I've had that happen numerous times. So the lessons that you learn when you're in the woods hunting definitely parallel the lessons that you learn when you're in the ring, and they go together. And then when it comes to the food eating, then the animal is so respected, because at the end of the day, then you feed yourself and give yourself nutrients from that animal that gave its life basically to feed you. So it's all the way around, full circle. It's one of the most amazing experiences you can have, and it's one of the things I'm most passionate about in life for sure is hunting. And especially this year, I've had an awesome year, and I don't buy meat from the store, and that's a beautiful feeling to be able to kind of sustain my training based on the food that God's provided out in the woods. So it's definitely a cool experience.
Maybe get in the meatpacking industry when boxing's done. Get your own.
Yeah.
You know.
Heck yeah.
But no, but people, they talk about like, fans are always thirsty for that killer instinct in a fighter. And so
Yeah.
like if you're able to do what you got to do in hunting an animal, and you get through that part where you feel sad about having to kill the animal to eat, it's like, I imagine, it becomes easier to take a guy out in the ring because yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I have probably more sympathy for the animal, than I do for my opponent, because at the end of the day, the animal isn't trying to hunt me, but the fighter across the ring from me, it's him or me, and they don't mind knocking me out in front of my family. So I don't really have any sympathy when I get in the ring. There are certain times that I think about, tragedies that happen, obviously on the outside, that I have I have respect for all of us, all the fighters that get in there and do what we do. And you see things when they turn tragic, and it's awful, and it gives you this gut wrenching feeling when you hear that news. But I was just telling Tab the other day, something was happening. Someone was getting beat up. We were watching a fight, my wife I'm talking about. And I was like, man, right now I can sit on the outside and be like, dang, that sucks. I hope they make it out okay, and I hope they stop the fight, because, it was a fight that was getting dragged down a little bit. And I was like, but something weird, man, when I get in there, like, there is no sympathy whatsoever. Oh, it was Loma. When Loma was telling Comey's team to get in and stop the fight. And I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, and maybe it'll come with maturity, and he's very comfortable in there. But I just I wouldn't be able to get myself to have that sympathy when I'm in the ring. But I can have it when I'm outside the ring. But when I get in there, that sympathy is definitely not there. It's definitely like a him or me mentality. So.
Well, it was weird seeing Lomachenko do that, because in previous weeks, Canelo and Crawford did not hesitate to take their guy out.
No, not at all. Yeah, Canelo's one, my dad, when he was fighting Callum Smith, and he was just putting a thrashing on Callum Smith, just beating the heck out of Callum Smith. And I remember my dad said, man, at that point, just asking a question, like, would you back off on him? Because it was the 12th round, and it was like 30 seconds left. And Canelo was just not relenting at all, trying to go for the knockout, just beating the heck out of him. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, not because I'm a, mean person or whatever, but I just know, people are different in the ring. And when I'm in there, if I see someone, and I know this from sparring, I know this from whatever, I can have a good friend that, I smell blood with. And I just, when I'm in the ring, it's just, I'm not relenting. There's just none of that in me when it comes to that, which is not, I'm not, saying like, oh, like, not trying to like talk myself up. It's just different people have different mindsets in there. And it can just come from a level of like, Loma could just be as simple. I don't think he doesn't not have a killer instinct. I think it's just a level of comfort in there to just be able to be so aware that he's like, can feel his feelings outside of the ring. You know what I mean? Like, he can kind of combine them. And and then others have just that tunnel vision that's like, you can't really feel or see. And when you start to get a guy hurt. So I don't think it's better or worse either way,
Were you? I know you and Caleb Plant have always been good buds and support each other. Were you proud of his performance? You get a chance to catch up with him since that Canelo fight, or?
Nope, I haven't talked to him. We usually just see each other when we pass by and things like that. So I haven't seen him. I haven't been in Vegas at any of the fights or anything. I've been getting ready for this fight. So, but I've seen him do interviews, and I've watched him, and no, I was super proud of his performance. I thought he was going to pull it off there when it was like the 4th and 5th and 6th. I was like, man, I think he might settle in here. But everyone, I thought he was going to settle in, maybe start to outbox Canelo. But as Canelo kept coming, he showed his experience, and everyone can get caught, and Caleb got caught. And Canelo is one of the best out there right now. And Caleb's up there with the best super middleweights right now. And he's going to keep going. I was saying he could beat Callum Smith. He can beat he can beat Benavidez. He can beat these guys. He's just got to get in there and do it. And Benavidez and him is still a great fight that the fans want to see, and that'll be a sweet fight. So, and Benavidez can win that fight too. Either one of them can win that fight, but they can get in there and still have that great fight for the fans. But I think everyone kind of is in agreement that Caleb showed his worth in that fight. So, as a fighter, he wants to win. But from the outside, the fans can see him and say, you know what, his stock rose. And I think everyone's in agreement with that.
We've talked about this before, pretty much every fight you have. In that fight with Canelo and Caleb was obviously the boxer, and Canelo the more aggressive fighter. in
Yeah.
the fight against Limberth Ponce, are you trending towards being more that aggressive fighter or more the boxer on the back foot, Joey?
Yeah. The last fight, I wanted to go out there. It was just my mindset. Once the fight got switched up, that I wanted to go out there and box the boxer and out counter the counter puncher. And this dude's a little bit of a mixture of both. He's really a boxer puncher. He likes to move, but then he likes to jump to the inside. And luckily, I had a couple sparring partners that are just like that in my circle. So we brought those dudes in, and there's no reason to be on the back foot in this fight. That's all I'll say. There's no reason to be on the back foot. And I can, as my career goes, I think I'm going to show guys that they're going to have to wonder which Joey is going to come in on a certain night, because I can do different things. And I have only been able to show a little bit of my boxing IQ so far. So I'm ready to continue to show people, but I'm excited. Yep, I'm excited to show what I can do.
Well, just giving my little 2 cents, which is worth nothing. I do really love when you sit in the pocket, just because you're very physically strong for this weight class. And
Thank you.
I know you have boxing skills and had a great amateur record, but tell me what you think of my little input here. I really like seeing you in the pocket.
Yeah, I think you'll see that more this fight, and I think that you'll see it more so as we go. At the end of the day, it's I'm proud of the fact that, and like I said, people won't have any reason to know this yet. And it also comes from the level of competition and things like that. But I know I can switch my style based on who I'm fighting. I know I can do that, and that's a good attribute to have. And I just got to continue to hone in on the different styles and just continue to get better at each of them, all of them, and that'll play a part. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that I'll definitely be in the inside and in the pocket more in the next fights and possibly in this fight too. But I can never give a guarantee, because it's just that's part of the game too, is just adjusting. So if I go into this fight, we're just going to see how it plays out. I'm just going to go out there and be me. And the thing about it is if I feel like I should go to the inside, I'm going to go to the inside. And if I feel like I should stay on the outside based on something he's doing, then I'm going to do that, because film's not always the same. Film, sometimes you see a guy, and then it's different when you get in there. And it's always different when you get in there and feel what he can do. So that'll depend on what I do.
Absolutely. And just before you get out of here, man, I got to ask you about the big fight in the division now, Charlo Castaño 2. Who do you think wins that fight, Joey?
Well, Castaño was hurt multiple times, or a couple times in the last fight. It seemed like when Charlo would land that good shot on him, he definitely did damage. But I thought Castaño won the fight. I thought he won it by a few rounds. And but that doesn't mean in this fight he's not going to get dropped, because Charlo's got that one punch power, and the whole time it felt like Castaño was walking on a tightrope. Like he was right in front of him, sometimes standing straight up and applying that pressure, which was a big thing in the fight. It gave Charlo problems, but it always felt like, man, he's one shot away, and hopefully he doesn't take that shot. But I think he won the first fight, and I think that he has an opportunity to win the second fight. But we'll see what happens. Charlo's still the top one right now, but you get this feeling that there's going to be a turn in the division sometime soon. I just feel that.
What do you think of Fundora and Erickson Lubin potentially scrapping for the interim WBC title?
Is that what's on the line? Is that what's being talked about?
Yep.
I think that Lubin beats Fundora fairly easy. Yeah, fairly easy. I would love it. I told my dad I'd fight Fundora anytime, and I don't. They're drying him out too much. I feel like they're drying him out too much. But he's a good fighter, and he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but at the end of the day, it's going to be bad news when he gets in there with somebody real. It's going to be bad news.
Now that is about to be in the pocket most of the fight for, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You can box him too. Lubin could outbox him. I have nothing against, anybody, and I don't want to, whatever. But if I'm just being honest, I think Lubin beats him pretty easy. And I think that Fundora would probably do better at one or two higher weight, one higher weight class at least, gain some, strength. But he's also maybe I'm just going off his last performance, and maybe he just had an off night. But I just felt like I know what it feels like to be weight drained in a certain fight, and I just felt like he kind of looked weight drained. That's all. But he's good. He's good. He's got skills for sure, and what he can do at that height is amazing. It really is. But I'm confident that he wouldn't be able to take what I can bring, and I don't think that anyone's going to be able to when the time is right. I'm excited. I'm 1 year away from these types of fights. I'm 1 year away, and I'm really, really excited about getting in there with these guys. But I wish it was me in that fight. I wish it was me in the fight with Lubin or with Fundora. Either one. I'm like scratching at the bit, but I'm also trying to make myself just be patient. Be patient. And I know I'm going to be the most underestimated guy in the division when I get there, because it's not. All I got to do is keep winning, and I'm going to get there to those fights. And when I do, everyone's gonna sleep on me. Everyone's gonna underestimate me, and that's a good place to be. I like being in that place, because what do you have to? It's not like you have to keep up anybody's expectations. A lot of people. I have fans and whatnot, but as far as the general boxing world, I know that they're going to be underestimating me, and more importantly, the opponents are going to be underestimating me, and so I'm ready to go soon.
And lastly, brother, last one, just Tim Tszyu. You feel like that's a fight that probably happens at some point in your career?
Yeah, probably. I haven't watched him too much, but I have heard the name, and there's some really exciting names that are being brought up in conversations over the phone with the people who make the fights matter, and I'm pretty pumped by that. So they're bringing up some sweet fights, but that's a good fight too, and that'd be a good one. Yeah, conversations with the management, things like that. There's some cool names being brought up, so that could take place in a year from now, or the next year, I should say. And the last stage is just to get some 10-rounders, a couple 10-rounders in. And that's the only real thing that's holding up right now, and not holding up, I should say, but just that's kind of in between now and the fights that will start to happen like that. So, yeah, excited.
Well, Merry Christmas, brother, and looking forward to you fighting on Christmas Day this Saturday on FS1. I'll definitely be tuned in for you and Vito Mielnicki. Just thank you, Joey.
Yep.
Anything you want to say, man? And your face looks good, brother. It looks like weight ain't throwing you off.
No, I feel great. Weight is perfect. And Merry Christmas to you too, man. Thank you so much. And, just everybody tune in after everybody's eating their Christmas dinner and breakfast and lunch. Then sit down on the couch and watch some good fights, because we're going to put on a good show. So thanks to everybody who's going to be tuning in.